Well, well, well. You're back again. Hello, I am one pilgrim from One Pilgrim's Musings. We are musing through the Psalms from the Old Testament, the Holy Scriptures. We're utilizing the New King James Version of the Holy Scriptures as we read and comment through them. We're utilizing to assist us in our little devotional time together the work of the late Pastor Jack Hyles, a work he left in the public domain called The Story Behind the Psalms. In it, Pastor Jack has done the research into the ancient Jewish tomes to confirm for us the author of each and every psalm where it is indeed known, and to give us a little bit of the story, the history behind each and every psalm. And many of them have a very distinct history. Some of them are just choruses or songs written for the temple, but many of them have very specific stories about them. So, let's journey together through Psalm 139 and through Pastor Jack's telling of the history of it and see what we can learn that we didn't know before today. Again, today's psalm will be Psalm 139. The author is King David, or David actually, we feel this was written before David was king when he was a young man. And the psalm title, not every psalm has a title, this one does, a few do. And it is just titled, To the Chief Musician. And you ask, well, okay, so why is that important as a title? Huh? We find these words used as the title of a psalm when it was to be used by the best of singers, perhaps the chief worship leader. Like the 119th psalm is the same way. It also is dedicated to the leader of the temple choir, to be set to music, and is sung obviously for the worship of Jehovah. Now, an ancient Hebrew rabbi, Aben Ezra, says that he feels that this is the most glorious and excellent psalm of them all. Each of us will be the judge of that. We'll get there. This psalm is divided into 4 stanzas of 6 verses each. Verses 1 through 6 deal with the omniscience of God. Verses 7 through 12 speak of his omnipresence. Verses 13 through 18, his omnipotence. And then verses 19 and 24, in there is a prayer of David's. Many of those things, maybe you'll find after reading this that you love this psalm enough that you want to memorize it and repeat it. I think I'm going to add it to my daily psalms. There are a few psalms that I read in prayer form or read back to the Lord as prayers and promises, like Psalm 91, every day as part of my prayer life. You should consider that. I'm not talking about word for word. I'm talking about using them as a template for not all of your time before the Lord, but perhaps like with Psalm 91, to pray it for protection, especially in this valley we're currently in the world, for those whom you love, specifically or as groups. It's like a prayer of protection for an army going out to war, which whether you know it or not, you're at war. Hopefully you know it, because that way you can fight back. And how do you fight back? On your knees. That's why that prayer time is so important. Now, so, many scholars believe that David actually composed this psalm, as I told you earlier, when he was still a young shepherd boy. And if you look at the psalm as we go through it, you might find that it's not too difficult to envision David watching over his flock in the wilderness the stars above out there, no city lights, none of that. To think of God's omniscience, His omnipresence, His omnipotence, and then to pen these beautiful words from His heart. Whew! Now, how it was used by the ancient Hebrews? Well, it was used primarily during private devotional time and was repeated every morning and evening. Maybe I do need to add this to my daily prayers. By the devout Israelite. It was also used for public worship, as aforementioned, to exalt the Lord. So, let us see just how wonderful this psalm, that one of the most revered ancient rabbis thinks is the most beautiful psalm of all. Let's see what we think. O Lord, you have searched me and known me. You know my sitting down and my rising up. You understand my thought afar off. You comprehend my path and my lying down. You are acquainted with all my ways. For there's not a word on my tongue. But behold, O Lord, you know it altogether. You have hedged me behind and before. You laid your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is high. I cannot attain it. Where can I go from your spirit? Or where can I flee from your presence? If I ascend to heaven, you are there. If I make my bed in hell, behold, you are there. If I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the outermost parts of the sea, even there your hand shall lead me, and your right hand shall hold me. And if I say, surely the darkness shall fall on me, even the night shall be as light about me. Indeed, the darkness shall not hide from you, but the night shines as the day. The darkness and the light are both alike to you. For you formed my inward parts. You covered me in my mother's womb. I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your works, and that my soul knows very well. My frame is not hidden from you. When I was made in secret and skillfully wrought in the lowest parts of the earth, my eyes saw my substance being yet unformed, and in your book they were all written, the days fashioned for me, when as yet there were none of them. How precious also are your thoughts, O God! How great is the sum of them! If I should count them, they would be more in number than the sand. When I awake, I am still with you. Oh, that you would slay the wicked, O God. Depart from me, therefore, you bloodthirsty men, for they speak against you wickedly. Your enemies take your name in vain. Do I not hate them, O Lord, who hate you? And do I not loathe those who rise up against you? I hate them with perfect hatred. I count them my enemies. Search me, O God. Know my heart. Try me and know my anxieties. And see if there is any wicked way in me. And lead me in the way everlasting. I do like that. Going to have to add that to my daily prayer life. Again, as a template. A wonderful template. Don't know if for me it's the favorite or best psalm, but it certainly is an awesome one. I hope you agree. So that's it for Psalm number 139, and for today, for your humble servant. Tomorrow, God willing, I will return and we'll take a look at Psalm 140. We're closing in on the end of the Psalms for this rendering. And I'm still before the Lord in prayer as to where to go from there on a daily basis. I have an idea, but I'm confirming in prayer whether that's my idea or the Holy Spirit's idea. So, we'll see where that goes. The Lord knows that, God willing, I'm not going anywhere. So, once we're done with Psalm 150, please continue to tune in. All right. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May He make His face to shine upon you this day and show you favor in your day, in all the issues. May nothing cause you anxiety. May anything that has come up against you that is evil be dispersed by the favor of the Lord. Till we meet again. This is One Pilgrim. For now, I'm out.